You know what he's like. He's ice cold. He loves this type of occasion. And I have to say, I think he'll try and get directly in behind that sort of space between Martinez and Milicia, and it'll be a tough night for that United left side.
I mean, just looking at him now, you think of his performance in this fixture last season, getting a hat-trick within the game, you know, the PFA Player of the Year, Footballer of the Year last season. He just signed that new deal. I mean, you know about players, sort of the longevity, certainly yourself at Manchester United, a lot of those players in the class of 92. I mean, he's into his 30s now. I mean, how long do you think he can keep that level up?
I think he can because of the quality of the team, the stability of the manager and the genius of the manager. I think that he can. I think when you're playing in a great side, that's my concern about Casemiro coming here, or say for instance, you know, Eriksen coming here. They're coming into a team that's not set. It's more difficult to do that. But I wanted to ask you about Roberto Firmino, because I think that famous front three of Salah, Firmino and Mane, you said that you thought that he would be the first one that might have to drop out of that. But it could be really important for Liverpool, not just tonight, but this season.
Yeah, no doubt. He's got 1 year left on his contract. There's always talk of Salah or Mane leaving. So Salah signed, Mane leave. I think with Roberto Firmino, I think it's pretty obvious. He's going to see this year out. He'll probably move for free. I think when everyone's fit now, he doesn't make that starting 11. Liverpool without Jota now, Nunes, but he's still got a vital role to play, and that's why I spoke to Jurgen Klopp about him. He was outstanding in the Community Shield against Man City, not so good against Fulham, and that's where maybe just in the last probably 18 months that consistency just dropped, as you'd expect. Really, you think of the miles he's put in for Liverpool, not just in terms of the front of the goal, but working back for the team. So I think that'll be vital tonight as well. But we saw how important Diaz was getting Liverpool back into the game at Crystal Palace. He's been a revelation since he come in. Yeah,
anyway, moving on to a player that we discussed on Monday Night Football last week, which was Lisandro Martinez, and how challenging it may be for him in English football. But could this actually be a game that suits him tonight against the mobility of Liverpool? They haven't got a really, you know, with Nunez not playing, would that suit him more?
I think this could be a game where we actually see him at his best, in that I think in himself that someone like that in a game like this won't be maybe a physical game in terms of dealing with long balls. This will be a game where he's got to use his brain, he's got to watch the runs of Salah, the movements of Firmino, maybe dragging him out of position. So he's got to be really clever, and that's playing to his strengths, and also getting on the ball. Let's not forget, Manchester United want to play from the back, Liverpool want to press from the front. He's got real quality on the ball, so I don't think he'll be unnerved by Liverpool pressing him. So he's got to show his quality tonight in a different way than what he's been asked in the first two games.
United have struggled to create a real sort of centre-back partnership in this last 12 months. I know it was Maguire and Lindelof a year and a half ago, but that seems to have gone now. Is this partnership the one that could be cemented tonight if it does well against Liverpool, Varane and Martinez?
I think it could do, because Varane gives you that pace that maybe Harry Maguire doesn't. But Martinez is the manager's sign, and we all know how important that is. You know, he's not going to just, you know, jettison him after 2 or 3 games. And also, don't forget, Dutch managers, Van Gaal did the same. They love a left-footed centre-back. It's a huge part of their sort of DNA. Playing out from the back, we want someone with a left foot who's got those passing angles that a right-footed player. But we saw it with Daley Blind under Louis Van Gaal, and it'll be the same with Martinez.
I just want to ask you a question about the bench. Obviously, massive decisions tonight made by Erik ten Hag. You'll have been in dressing rooms when big players get left out. You've got the captain that's been left out, Maguire. You've got Ronaldo, obviously one of the greatest players of all time. How do you think the rest of the players on the pitch will feel towards that? And how do you think those two will cope with it not being in the team tonight?
I think they'd be really disappointed. I think in some ways for Harry Maguire, it may be something that he needs just to come off the firing lines. I think some of the criticism he's took has been way over the top, I must say that. I think Ronaldo, I think the manager's got an opportunity now, because there's a couple of players back, to say, no, I want you on the bench. If I'm being honest, I don't think the manager probably wants Ronaldo around the place. He had to play him last week because obviously it was so poor against Brighton. He played Eriksen as a false 9. But as soon as he's got options, he's put him on the bench. And I think in 2 weeks, I think Ronaldo will move on.
Yeah, I think it's important tonight for Manchester United. I actually like the look of the team, just purely because I think that they've got the creativity in midfield. I do like the idea of Elanga. I think Liverpool's backline pushing up. I always think at Old Trafford you have to have players at Manchester United that can run in behind. Elanga can do that, and you never know, we might get a shot tonight.
He always talks himself into it, doesn't he? And then it always comes back and blows up in his face. But fingers crossed the same tonight.
He always does. He always does. The closer we get to kick-off, Gary starts getting excited. Honestly, down here, it's been like a Manchester United reunion. We've had Brian Robson, Gary Pallister, Raymond van der Houw, Peter Schmeichel on friendly terms as well, Roy. It's great to see. Captain tonight is Bruno Fernandes. What do you make of that decision?
Well, obviously, well, again, the manager's getting to know these players. He's got to pick somebody. Obviously, he's leaving Ronaldo out. De Gea, you think Fernandes for all it. We were giving Fernandes praise, I suppose, the last year or two for his performances. not necessarily sure for maybe his personality in terms of when United haven't got the ball. I'm kind of surprised. I don't see him as captain material. I think he can throw his arms around. I don't think he's...
But this is interesting, Roy. The impact that Ronaldo has had on him. A goal involvement every 95 minutes before he got here, every 233 since. What would you read into that?
Well, his form was that good when he got here. There was obviously going to be some sort of dip. He couldn't keep that up. That was absolutely fantastic. He was amazing.
But does he need to be the main man? Is that what that suggests?
Possibly so, but some players don't want to be the main man. They want to be big players, but they want to be that big personality. That's where the captaincy is a bit of a surprise for us. But we need to get back to seeing him doing his best. We need to see him back to doing his best.
The main man is here tonight.
Glad you're listening to me.
Cristiano Ronaldo on the bench, of course, for Manchester United
on the
tonight.
bench.
Former teammate of Gary Neville and Roy Keane. Do you want a word with us? A word, Cristiano?
See you, Ronaldo. Take it easy.
Perhaps not. Maybe later. Interesting. Nice conversation with you, Jamie.
Yeah. Totally blank.
Just like most people do.
Interesting. Nice conversation with you, Jamie.
There are big names here. There's a lot of expectation, a lot of interest around this game across the world, as you expect when these two meet. It's Manchester United and Liverpool, both looking for their first wins of this new season. Will something in? More focus next.
Sponsored by Bet365.
I've started using Fairy non-bio platinum pods because now Theodore is growing, it's a whole new level of stains and mess. Fairy non-bio platinum pods with